Hello and welcome. My name is Savannah, and today we'll be guiding you through a class focused on planks and different variations of plank. Let's begin in a seated position. You can be sitting on your feet or sitting in a cross-legged position. It's up to you. Get comfortable and get settled in. If you have a pillow or a yoga block or a blanket, a folded up blanket you can sit on, that would be great. Just to help you get comfortable and to allow you to stay here for a few minutes. Notice your breath. Become aware of your breath. Flowing in and flowing out through your nose or through your mouth. Pay attention to the inhale and the exhale. Which one is longer? And then can you allow them to become more equal in length? So that one is not any longer than the other. To do this, you might count to 4 or 5 or even just 3 on your inhale and use that same number for your exhale. This is called samavriti, or equal part breath. Can you sit up taller? Extend through the length of your spine, shoulders over the hips, ground down through your sitting bones, and reach up through your heart and the very crown of your head. And can you bring your mind and your body to the same place, right here, right now? Allow yourself to be present. Do a few more rounds of that equal part breath, samavriti. Take a moment to notice how you are feeling, both physically and emotionally. Bring some gentle movement into your fingers and toes. And maybe roll the shoulders up and back a couple of times. And then reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Hold your inhale breath with the arms up overhead. And then exhale, hands come down through heart center. 1 more time. Inhale, arms up. Hold your inhale breath with your arms up overhead. And then exhale, hands come down through heart center. Take 1 final breath with the hands at heart center. Breathe in and out through the nose. Great, let's come into a tabletop position now. Shoulders over top of the wrists, hips over top of the knees. Ground down through all 10 fingers. Ground down through the knees and through the tops of your feet and all 10 toes. Let's bring the right shin to the right. Left foot comes to the left side of your mat. Left arm reaches up, coming into a modified side plank. So the right shoulder is stacked directly over the right wrist. Left wrist is stacked directly over the left shoulder. Left leg is straight back behind you. Look wherever is most comfortable for your neck. Good, return back to tabletop. Hand and knee come down. Bring the left shin to the left. Right foot extends, or right leg extends straight back behind you. Right arm reaches up. Right wrist over the right shoulder over the left shoulder. Left wrist directly below the left shoulder. Bring your gaze to wherever feels best for you in this moment. Settle into the pose for a little bit longer. One more full breath in and out through the nose. Bring the hand and knee down, tabletop. From here, bring your knees a little bit further back behind you, coming into a modified plank. Wrists underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread nice and far apart. The knees and the hands are supporting you here. Shift the weight forward towards the fingertips and less into the wrist. The feet are lifted up towards the sky. Bring your attention and your awareness into your belly, into the center of your body, and send your breath there as well. One more breath. From here, release and come back to a tabletop position. Come to a seat, onto your feet, and take a moment to shake out the wrists. Come back to a tabletop, and we'll come into a forearm hovering tabletop. So come onto your forearms, making a number 11 shape with your forearms. Tuck all 10 toes under, lift your knees up just to a very low hover above your mat. So the knees are very close to the ground. Shoulders are over the wrists. Your fingers are spread nice and far apart. Stay here, settle into the pose, and breathe. One more breath. Release the knees down, come back up onto your hands. Let's flow through those poses one more time, adding on. Bring your right shin to the right. Left leg comes straight back behind you. Right hand stays planted down. Left arm reaches up. Look up towards the left fingers if that feels okay for your neck. And then start to lean back, opening up the heart a little bit, finding a little bit of a back bend. Stay super strong and grounded through the right hand, right fingers. Begin to release. Bring the left hand and left knee back down. Good. Left shin comes to the left. Right leg comes straight back behind you. Left hand stays planted down. Right arm reaches up. Look up towards the right hand if that feels okay for your neck. And from here, start to lean back. Finding a little bit of a back bend, opening up through the chest, the shoulders, the heart, the upper back. Continue to breathe, allowing the breath to flow easily and effortlessly. Making sure that you are always able to breathe in the pose. You are not sacrificing your breath for the pose. Come back to tabletop, hand and knee come down. Coming into modified plank, all 10 fingers spread nice and far apart. Bring your knees farther back behind you. Feet lift up so you're just on the knees. Shoulders are over top of the wrists. Engage through your belly. Bringing your awareness to the very center of your body. From here, bring your feet down to the mat. Engage into your feet, into your legs to lift your knees up, full plank. Lower your knees down, lift your feet up, modified plank. Feet come down, lift the knees up, full plank. Knees down, feet up, feet down, knees up. Modified plank, knees down. Once more, plank. Lift the knees up, back to modified plank, knees come down. Drop down to your forearms. Tuck all 10 toes under and lift your knees just to a hover above the mat. Look forward slightly towards your hands. Your arms are making the number 11 shape. One more breath. Good. Bring your knees down to the ground. Sit back onto your feet. And shake out your wrists. Take a couple of breaths here. Good. Come to tabletop. Tuck all 10 toes under. Take your hips up and back towards downward facing dog. The knees can be super bent here. They do not have to be straight. Fingers are spread wide apart. Maybe gradually you start to lift the hips up higher, straightening out the knees just a little bit more. Look back to your feet at the back of your mat. Look forward now to your hands, top of your mat, make your way there. Inhale, halfway lift, bring your hands to your shins. Look forward, exhale to fold. Over the legs, bending your knees as much as you need to. Especially if the hamstrings, the backs of your legs are quite tight. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Inhale, reach up, root to rise. Exhale to fold down over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come onto the shins. Press your hands to the shins and the shins back into the hands. Find more length through your spine. Plant your hands down, step back to a plank. Fingers are spread nice and far apart. Bring the weight forward towards your fingertips and the tippy toes. Lower all the way down to your belly. From here, extend your arms long. Inhale, lift up, Superman. Arms and legs lift straight up. Exhale, lower down. Hands come underneath your shoulders, lift up to a plank pose. Downward facing dog on your exhale. Inhale and exhale through the nose in your down dog. Look forward to your hands. Make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale to come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands down, step back on your exhale to plank. Come straight to downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, look forward to your hands. Make your way to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold, bending your knees as much as you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands down, step back to plank. Fingers are spread nice and far apart. Shift the weight forward in your plank. Maybe the shoulders go a little bit past the wrists, and then shift all the way back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees in your downward facing dog as much as you need to. Shift forward to plank. From here, shift forward towards the fingertips and to the tippy toes, and then back towards the heel of your hand. And find a stretch in your calf, maybe as you shift the weight back. Shift forward and shift back. If you need to take a break at any point in this class, please do that. Take a child's pose, sit back onto your heels. Take a couple of breaths. You can pause the video if you need to. Good. Come straight back to downward facing dog now. From your downward facing dog, lift the right leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Step it in between your hands. Come up to crescent lunge. Arms reach up. Shoulders over top of the hips. Breathe here. Right knee is directly over the right ankle. Bring the hands down. Left hand stays down. Right arm reaches up for a twist. Look up towards the right hand if you can. And then start to come on the outer edges of both feet. Step back, the right foot back on top of the left side plank. Right arm is up, left hand is down. Lift the hips up higher. Bring the right hand down, plank pose. From here, tap your left shoulder with your right hand and the right shoulder with your left hand. Left shoulder, right hand, right shoulder, left hand. Keep going back and forth, tapping opposite hand to shoulder. Just a little bit longer. Try to keep everything else in your plank staying the same. So just the hand is moving. Come back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. Bring it through in between your hands. Crescent lunge, arms reach up, shoulders over top of the hips. Allow the left knee to be directly over the ankle. Sit a little bit deeper into your lunge. Good. Bring the right hand down to the mat. Left arm reaches up. Come into your twist. Come onto the outer edges of both feet and then step the left foot back to side plank. Left arm reaches up, right hand is down. Lift the hips up higher. One more full breath here in your side plank. Lower the left hand down, come to plank. From here, shift forward and shift the weight back, just like we did a little bit earlier. Maybe as you shift the weight back, you find a stretch for your calves, the back of your lower leg. Come straight back, downward facing dog. Come to plank. Lift your right leg up in your plank. Hold here for one big breath. Bring it down. Left leg lifts up. One full breath in and out through the nose. Release it down. Switch back and forth a little bit more quickly now. Right leg, left leg. Keep the legs straight this whole time. Let's do one more on each side. Good, bring the knees down. Come to a seat. Cross-legged or in a kneeling position, it's up to you. Settle into your breath and breathe. And again here, lift up through the top of your head, lift up through your heart space, ground down through your feet and your sitting bones, ground down through your hips. Good, make your way back to plank. Fingers are spread nice and far apart in your plank at all times. Feet step back. Step your right foot forward towards your right hand, coming into a hovering tabletop. Step the left foot forward, step the right foot back, left foot back. Left foot forward, right foot forward. Left back, plank. Hovering tabletop, step the feet forward, step back, plank. Continue like this for a few more rounds. Make sure you are able to breathe in and out, breathing nice and deeply. Let's do one more. Come to hovering tabletop. Step the feet in, step back, plank. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Great work. Lift the right leg up, inhale. Exhale, bring the right foot to the outside of the hands, to the right side of your mat. Settle in here to lizard pose. Option to bring the left knee, the back knee down and untuck the toes. Otherwise, if you would like a little bit more strength in the pose, you can lift the left knee up. Find any movement in your lizard pose. Maybe you shift the weight forward and then back. From here, lift your right arm up. Bring your right foot to stack on top of your left foot. Side plank. Left hand is down, left fingertips or left fingers spread nice and far apart. Right arm reaches up. Come back to plank, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up, inhale, exhale, lizard lunge. Left foot to the outside of both hands to the left side of your mat. Option to bring the right knee, the back knee down to the mat and untuck the toes. Otherwise, by all means, if you would like to, you can keep the knee lifted. Find any movement that you like in this hip opening posture. From here, come to the outer edge of your back foot. Left arm reaches up, right hand stays down. Step the left foot back to stack onto the right foot. Side plank. Stay here in your side plank for a couple more big breaths. In and out through the nose. One more breath. Bring the left hand down, plank, downward facing dog. Let's flow through that, moving a little bit quicker after we take 2 breaths here in our downward facing dog. Fingers are spread nice and far apart. The knees can be deeply bent. Allow the head to drop down in between the arms. Notice how the body is feeling. Notice how your mind is feeling. Lift the right leg up. Inhale, exhale, bring it through to the outside of your hands, the right side of your mat. Again, option to bring the back knee down and to untuck the toes or to keep the knee lifted up. It's up to you. Let's come to the outer edge of the left foot. Stack the right foot on top of the left foot. Right arm reaches up. Bring the right hand down. Come to plank. Back to downward facing dog. Right away, left leg lifts high. Inhale. Exhale, outside of the hands to the left side of your mat. Bring the right knee down if you would like. Untuck the toes or keep it lifted. Now let's come to the outer edge of the back foot. Come to stack the left foot on top of the right foot. Left arm reaches up. Lift the hips up higher. Bring the left hand down. Come to plank. Come to downward facing dog. Good, let's move through that one more time. Inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, right side of the mat. Come to the outer edge of the back foot. Right foot will stack on top of the left foot. Right arm reaches up high. Bring the right hand down to the mat, plank pose. Downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. Left leg lifts up, inhale. Exhale, left foot to the left side of your mat. Come to the outer edge of your right foot. Left foot stacks on top of the right foot. Lift the hips up higher. Left arm reaches up to the sky a little bit more. Left hand comes down, plank, downward facing dog. Make your way to the top of your mat. Feet will meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Hands come through heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back to plank. From your plank, bring your right knee down towards the ground just to a hover. Lift it back up. Left knee down towards a hover. Lift it up. Right knee, left knee. Right knee, left knee. Right knee, left knee. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Do a few more. One more on each side. Good. Shift back. Downward facing dog. From here, drop the knees down. Take a child's pose. Sit the hips back, the heels. Arms stretch out in front. Rest the forehead down onto the mat. And breathe. Lengthen out each inhale, lengthen out each exhale. Good. From here, come back into a tabletop position. Lower down onto the forearms. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees up to a hover. We were here at the beginning of class. Now this time around, step back to forearm plank, stepping both feet back of the mat. Step forward into forearm hovering tabletop. Step back to forearm plank. Continue just like this, stepping both feet forward and then both feet back. Keep the hips low. Shoulders are over the wrists. Your arms are parallel to one another. Let's do one more. Step both feet forward towards hovering tabletop and then back to forearm plank. Lower the hips, lower everything down into sphinx. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders. You're still lifted up onto the forearms. Lift up through your chest, lift up through the crown of your head. Tuck the toes under, lift up to forearm plank. Lower down to sphinx, untuck the toes, lift up. Inhale here. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale, sphinx. Come down, lift up through the heart. Tuck the toes under, lift up to forearm plank. Lower down to sphinx. Inhale. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale to sphinx. Lower down and lift up through the crown of your head and through your chest. Tuck the toes under, lift up to forearm plank. Drop down to your knees. Come to a seated position. Take 2 big breaths here, in and out through your nose. From here, make your way back to downward facing dog. Fingers are spread nice and far apart. Hips lift up and back, and the knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Hands are shoulder width distance apart. Feet are hip width distance apart. Look back to your feet. From here, come to plank. Bring both feet to the outside of your hands, coming into malasana or yogi squat. Hands come to heart center. Plant your hands down, lift the hips up a little bit to step both feet back to plank. Let's flow through this a few times. Come forward into malasana, yogi squat. Hands can come at heart center. Lift your hips up a little bit more. Hands come down, lift the hips up a little bit to step back to plank. Step forward to malasana, hands come at heart center. Inhale, exhale, plank. Inhale to come to malasana, lift up through the heart, hands come to heart center. Exhale, plank pose. One more time, malasana. Stepping both feet to the outside of your mat. Hands come through heart center. From here, step the hips down. Come to boat pose. Lift the feet up. Lift the arms up. Lengthen out through your spine. Lift up through the crown of your head. Plant your feet down. Bring the weight to your feet to lift the hips up. Plant the hands down. Step back to plank pose. Come back, downward facing dog. One more breath in your downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward in between the hands, rise up to crescent lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, arms reach back, hover over your right thigh. Inhale, arms up, shoulders over the hips, crescent lunge. Exhale, hover. Inhale, come to stand, crescent lunge. Exhale, hover. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hover. Bring the hands down, step back to plank, back to downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up high, bring it through. Crescent lunge with the left foot forward, arms reach up. Take a big inhale here. And on your exhale, hinge from the hips, arms reach back. Hover over your left thigh. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, hover. Inhale, crescent. Exhale to hover. Inhale, crescent. Exhale to hover. Plant the hands down, step back to plank. Come back to downward facing dog. Take one more full breath in your downward facing dog. In and out through the nose. From here, shift forward to plank, lower down to your forearms. Forearm plank. Bring the right forearm parallel to the top of your mat. Come to forearm plank on the right side. Left arm reaches up. Right forearm is down. Lift the hips up higher. Switch sides. Left forearm parallel to the top of your mat. Right foot stacks on top of the left. Right arm reaches up. Lift the hips up higher. Come to forearm plank. Lower down to sphinx. Stay here in sphinx for about 5 breaths. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Feet can be to mat distance apart. Lift up through the heart. Press down through the forearms, the elbows, and the hands to find more of an opening in your chest. Take one more breath here. Allow the breath to slow down. Come back to a steady rhythm for your breath. From here, lower all the way down and just rest your head on top of stacked hands. So one hand comes on top of the other. Rest the forehead down and breathe. Notice how you are feeling. Notice how the body is feeling, and also become aware of how the mind is feeling. Take 2 more full breaths here. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press up into a tabletop position. Bring your legs out in front of you, coming to a seated position. Legs are straight. Bring your hands onto your thighs for just a moment here to feel your legs engage. Sit up as tall as you can, and then the right leg will cross over the left. Left leg is straight. Bring your right hand behind you, look over the right shoulder. Left arm wraps around the right leg. Sit up as tall as you can, thinking of having super good posture here. One final breath. Take your time to come back to center. And then the right leg extends long, left foot will cross over the right leg. Right arm wraps around the left leg, left hand comes back behind you, look over the left shoulder. Think of twisting from the very base of your spine all the way up the spine to the crown of your head, the top of your head. Allowing the spine to get as long as it possibly can. One more breath. Come back to center, taking your time to release. And then make your way all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs and maybe rock from side to side. Extend the legs long, arms go long, release into the final pose of class, savasana. A posture where all you have to do is rest and perhaps also pay attention to your breath. And once again, notice how you feel. Make yourself comfortable in Shavasana. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. Make sure you are taking up lots of space on your mat. So the feet can even go to the outside of your mat. The hands don't have to be on your mat. If you have a bolster or any other prop you would like to have for underneath your knees to have some support for your low back, please do that. Get settled in, take your time so that you can simply stay in this pose and then give your body the opportunity to rest and recharge, and also to receive the benefits, all of the benefits from this practice. a moment at the end of your practice to be proud of yourself for making it through this challenging practice. Take a moment also to thank your body for allowing you to practice yoga. Release any control over your breath that you still might have. Let it go, let it flow however it wants to, however it needs to, using either the nose or the mouth to breathe. Feel your yoga mat supporting you as you lie here. And can you feel strong and capable and empowered and confident, both on and off of your mat? Release any gripping, any holding, perhaps around your forehead, your jaw, maybe your fingers. Let everything go, let everything soften and release down onto your mat. And know that whatever is pulling you away, whatever is distracting you, will still be there after class for you to deal with. But for now, it can wait. So simply rest here. Please stay in your savasana for as long as you would like. Coming out of it only when you feel ready. Thank you so very much for joining me today for this challenging plank flow. I would love to hear any of your thoughts or feedback in the comment section of this video. I always love hearing from you, so please don't be shy. If you did enjoy this practice, it would also mean a lot if you subscribed to my channel and gave this class a thumbs up or like. Maybe you also share it with someone you think would appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.